for being with us. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to turn this hearing into one single topic. But you can understand that we are extremely concerned about what happened. And also, let us remind that when the digital euro was put in place, it was, for some reason also, a response to the failure of Libra, in any case, because there was a strong opposition that the big American company would develop a currency that was going to be used by our citizens, because we wanted this to remain in the sovereign hands. So now seeing Amazon in the middle of this exercise, really it's something difficult to understand, but not because it is an American company. I don't think this is a protectionist issue. It's because it has the record fine for violating data protection in the EU. And also because it has a long-standing record of using dark interfaces and bad commercial practices, and we are very worried about that. So, well, my question to you will be very simple, because it's not only the Parliament who is outraged with that decision, Mr. Panetta, it's also the consumers' organizations. So I would like to know whether you would consider revising the decision. And if you are not, you will not revise the decision if you're not worried that this project, which is essential, and you know that the Parliament supports it, will not start with a very strong lack of credibility with the decision you have taken. And the other thing I simply cannot understand, and maybe this is also a question for you, why in the call for interest there was no condition put to avoid having such conflicts of interest, or avoiding having a company with a record fund in the EU for violating data protection being able to participate? Thank you.
Again, first of all, when we do a call for interest, we have to respect regulation, like anybody else. If a European company applies, we don't have the authority to exclude that companies because its shareholder is non-European. I cannot do it. Second, all the concerns you have been, let me emphasize this, raised first and foremost by me, by the ECB in general. So this exercise is directed at learning how the best technology is working at the global level. We wanted to have one merchant, only one merchant applied. I should have changed the rankings ex post. I cannot do it. I don't do it. I don't change rankings which are formed on the basis of specific conditions decided ex ante, which are respectful of European law. So this cannot be done. There is no, again, I understand your concerns, but maybe I can emphasize this for the third time. There is no impact of this prototyping exercise on the future development, on the actual participation to the development of the digital euro. You are concerned of what could be the consequences of this exercise? Zero. You may believe, you may not believe. I can tell you again, it's zero. We want to learn, and we want to learn to the best technology, not from the worst one. And no other European merchant participated. So we want to learn from those who are already providing to European people these services. Doesn't mean that we will interact with them in the future. There will be calls, procurements, which will be done, again, in full observance to European regulation, to all laws. And if there are ways and criteria to include, and if there will be additional criteria that can be imposed in the actual realization, then we will look into it. But now we are simply doing an exercise.
Yes, a quick follow-up, yes.
No, if I may, because, well, you're saying there's no budget allocated, we understand. But, well, all those are private companies. They, of course, have an interest in participating in that. And one can very easily imagine that the interest is to have advanced information on the prototype that will be used. So can you tell us that any of the exercises you're doing will not, all of those features will not be used in the future prototype that the digital euro will be using? Can you completely exclude that? I don't think you can.
If I were to cooperate with Tesla to build an electric engine, doesn't mean that the electric engine will be in the future produced by Tesla. We are learning technologies. We are not making any deal on future cooperation. Technology, that's different from dealing with a specific company. Technologies are used by different companies in different ways, and we are going to learn. This is a learning exercise.